It's an SEC West showdown between ranked teams in Fayetteville. LSU down 11 spots in the college football playoff rankings after losing to Alabama, taking on Arkansas, which pounded Florida a week ago. And hi, everybody. Alongside Greg McElroy, I'm Dave Pash. Tom Luganville will be by in just a bit. Well, the last 2 years, Greg, this Arkansas team knocked off LSU, and it was the week after the LSU-Alabama game. Now, you obviously played in those games, so how do you bounce back mentally and physically to play a quality opponent?
You wake up Sunday, you get in the cold tub, and you get to work, because you cannot in the SEC West allow an opponent to beat you twice. That's exactly what's happened to LSU the last couple of years. Arkansas, however, has come out, handled the trenches, and dominated the line of scrimmage. So it's going to be a great game tonight, and looking forward to seeing these two teams compete. And Greg, the matchup to watch in this game, Leonard Fournette for LSU against the Arkansas rush defense, which, Tom, it's been up and down, and that's putting it nicely for the Arkansas D the last couple weeks.
It really is, Greg, Dave. Which Arkansas defense will show up tonight? The one against Auburn that gives up over 540 yards on the ground, or the one that then returns against the University of Florida and allows 12 total yards? Now, Arkansas has played their best football at home, but they're taking on the likes of Leonard Fournette, Derrius, Guice. This is a defense that better come to play. We can't see Jekyll and Hyde tonight from the Razorbacks.
Alabama, meanwhile, has clinched the SEC West with a win today over Mississippi State, and Auburn just a final moments ago losing to Georgia. So now 5-2 and 7-3 overall, which puts Auburn basically out of the whole playoff picture. These two teams have met for the boot 62 previous times. And Arkansas, as we mentioned, has won the last 2 meetings against LSU. Ed Orgeron, who started his college career as a strength coach here in Fayetteville, and his wife is from Arkansas. This is his first game on the road as the LSU interim head coach. 3-1 with that loss coming to Alabama last week. And how about Brett Bielema? You see the record and you say, but he's played more games against ranked teams than he has against unranked teams. In fact, all 3 of his losses this year have come against top 10 foes. LSU won the toss, defers. So the Razorbacks will start on offense. Cameron Gamble kicking it deep. And it's Deion Stewart from the 5-yard line. And he gets flipped at the 28. Dante Jackson makes the special teams tackle. So the SEC's leading passer in terms of touchdowns coming into the week, Austin Allen. He's thrown for 19. He threw for 400 yards against Alabama, 371 against A&M, both Arkansas losses. Of course, his older brother Brandon played here and is now in the NFL with Jacksonville. Allen suffered a knee injury a few weeks back in their loss to Auburn, but played through it. And the coaches say he's as healthy as he's going to get. And a quick throw on first down to the 32-yard line to Drew Morgan, Arkansas's leading receiver, with now 49 catches on the season.
Austin Allen is so tough. You mentioned the knee injury. He hangs in the pocket occasionally, a little bit too long. But he's very accurate with the football. He has tremendous feel for the position, and he relies heavily on a talented receiving corps where they have 4 guys with a lot of experience and a lot of production.
And Morgan, their leading receiver, 4th in the SEC in catches. He picks up 4 yards. Now play action for Allen on second down, in trouble and sacked. It's Arden Key, one of the top pass rushers in college football. That's 9 sacks now for the 6'6" sophomore.
Arden Key's been a handful for everybody. It's especially difficult when you're a tight end. Jeremy Sprinkle getting beat inside. Austin Allen has absolutely no chance there of getting rid of the football.
So 3rd and 13 after the sack, and they get Jackson to the sideline. Allen hit again, and his pass is nearly intercepted. One-hopped Jamal Adams in the area. So it's 4th down, a 3 and out for Arkansas to start the game.
Austin Allen had Cornelius right there crossing the middle of the field, tried to anticipate it. He knows he's got to get rid of the football early against this Tiger front. That time just a little too early, and the receiver wasn't able to get to the spot.
You think of all the great return guys they've had at LSU. Pat Peterson, Tyrann Mathieu, Tre'Davious White is another one. He's got a return for a touchdown this year. And he'll take a crack at it here in the 25, but a great play to trip him up. Arkansas's best special teams player, Ryder Lucas. Brett Bielema pointed him out to us yesterday in practice, talking about what a star he's been for them this year. And he made a terrific play to knock down White at the LSU 25. And now the offense, Danny Etling, who last week threw for 92 yards in the loss to Alabama. Spent 2 years as a starter at Purdue. This is his 7th start this year, replacing Brandon Harris week 2.
Very important for Danny Etling and this LSU offense to get off to a good start. Struggled last week, needs some confidence early.
And he's got Leonard Fournette in the backfield on first down. And it's a play fake for Etling. And trying to dump it off. And Fournette caught it. The ball comes out. And now they're going to rule it incomplete. That he never had possession. A defensive lineman, Tywan Johnson, was draped all over Fournette. So 2nd and 10. So Danny Etling, a junior from Terre Haute, Indiana. Now he had it going there for a little bit, Greg. 3 straight 200-yard games until last week against the Tide, but the Tide will do that to you.
He was heavily criticized this week, but if you actually look at the game he played, missed a lot of layups, didn't play well, but had very little opportunity. That offensive line up front needs to protect him better tonight against a capable Arkansas front.
Here's Fournette off the right side, pushes a defender down and steps out close to the marker. When he's not going, when Leonard Fournette is getting bottled up and averaging 2 yards a carry as he did last week, they just don't have the passing game to beat you. And Danny Etling needs to be in a 3-dimensional offense. Wouldn't you agree? Run, pass, and play action.
Has to be. This entire offense for LSU is predicated off the run game. Misdirection, nakeds, boots, and deep shot play actions. But it all starts with number 7 and his backup, number 5, Derrius Guice.
And you highlighted the fullback, J.D. Moore, yesterday. He's in there now to help protect for Fournette on 3rd and short. And Fournette able to get the first down. He gets to the 41-yard line. That was great patience that time by Fournette, waiting for the hole to come open with Moore out there in front. And it's a first down.
Patience he didn't really show last week. He was hyped up. It was the Alabama game. He wanted a big night. He wanted to put the team on his back. But occasionally he didn't let the blocks develop up front. Missed a few holes. That time allowed Moore to open it up and his offensive lineman to get enough push for a critical first down on the first drive of the game.
Derrius Guice is in at running back. He carried it just twice last week. Ed Orgeron said he'll get it more tonight. And here he is with a big hole straight ahead. A gain of 5 to the 46 for Guice. He's from Baton Rouge. He's got 3 100 rushing yard games this year, so he's another talent of that tailback position for the Tigers.
All you have to do is look at the yards per carry. Almost 8 yards every time he touches the football. Now Leonard Fournette, it's difficult to justify taking him off the field, but when you have a backup like Derrius Guice, who's coming off only a 2-carry performance, feeling fresh, you have to assume he's going to get a heavy workload tonight.
Guice on the pitch, wrestled to the ground after a gain of 1, bringing up 3rd down and about 4. And it was Dwayne Eugene on the tackle. Eugene has been the starter the last few games after Dre Greenlaw, one of their best players, out with a foot injury.
3rd and 4 here. LSU has struggled on the first drive in ball games, has yet to score on the first possession this season. In fact, punted on every first possession until last week when they missed a field goal. Need to try to find one of their wide receivers here to get a first down.
And they're going to dump it off to Fournette. All green in front of him. Fournette past the 30-yard line, inside the 20. And he finally steps out of bounds at the 15-yard line. They had that set up beautifully, and it's a gain of 38 yards.
Outstanding job by Danny Etling. He said, "You're hot, Leonard Fournette. Nobody is covering you." The person that was responsible for Leonard Fournette blitzed off the left-hand side, leaving number 7 uncovered. And anytime he's wide open in space, you better get it to him because he's a load to bring down.
And Guice is in on first down for the 15. Guice off the left side, drilled in the backfield. Did well to get back to the line of scrimmage. Bijan Jackson was back there for Arkansas. It'll be 2nd down and 10 for LSU. The Tigers dropped 11 spots. I was really surprised that the College Football Playoff Committee felt that they should be sent to number 24 after going toe-to-toe with Alabama for 3.5 quarters. How can you be number 13 one week, 24 the next, when you play great for 3.5 quarters against the best team in the country?
I don't think they should have dropped that far. At the very worst, 18, maybe 19.
Play fake on 2nd down all day for Etling. And it's Colin Jeter fighting for yardage close to the first down at the 5.
Play action passing attack. Setting up some of the things they're doing. Throwing the football. Etling doing a nice job early on, getting the ball out of his hands quick. Finding open targets and delivering the ball accurately. Already off to a much better start than we saw at any point last week.
Steve Ensminger calling plays now with Cam Cameron obviously no longer here. Fired along with Les Miles. First down and goal. Fournette is in, and here he goes. Turns on the Jets and finds Pater. Touchdown LSU. He hit that hole fast and hard. And Fournette with his 6th rushing touchdown of the year. And that's the best opening drive by far this season for the Tigers.
Great start. Tough game last week. Physical game, emotional game. You come to hostile territory and you march it right down the field for an opening drive touchdown.
Delahousse on for the point after and bangs it through to make it 7-0 LSU.
We wondered if they would get up off the mat. That question's been answered. LSU goes right down the field, 75 yards, and Coach O loves it.
Orgeron 3-1 as the interim head coach, and his team off to a good start tonight, 7-0. They're 5-3 overall. They've lost 3 games by 17 points. And that crazy finish against Auburn, they allowed 6 field goals and then couldn't snap the ball before time expired, and they lost. And that was it for Les Miles. Stewart on the return, ripped to the ground, and a flag down at the 20-yard line. Razorbacks have just 38 yards of offense against LSU's terrific defense. Raleigh Williams off the left side, nothing.
No, guys, when we talk about Austin Allen, when he gets in trouble, it's when his footwork is off, and that's where the inaccuracy comes. So when you watch him, even when he came out on that last series in the 3rd down, he comes out on bootleg. Now, he's under duress, he's rushed, but look at his feet. If he doesn't have a foundation and a good base, accuracy starts from the feet up, whether it's in the pocket or on the move. When his feet are underneath him and he's planting and transferring weight, he is awfully difficult to beat.
He's going to throw here off a play fake and fires to a wide open defender. It's picked off by Donnie Alexander, and he takes it back to the 15-yard line. Don't know if Allen didn't see him or just made a bad throw, but it was right to Alexander for his first pick of the year.
Tom Luganville was talking about Austin's feet. They're great here.
Yep.
He's just trying to hit Keon Hatcher on a deep crossing route, and he didn't even see the defender underneath. That's the easiest interception Donnie Alexander will ever have.
That was all eyes and coverage progression, Greg. Everything else was underneath him. Austin was on time, in rhythm, just didn't see the defender buzz.
And that is the 9th interception thrown this season by Austin Allen, giving LSU tremendous field position. Here's Fournette. Lowers the shoulder and runs over Pulley. He's down at the 13-yard line, picking up 5 yards. as the final seconds of the first quarter tick away.
Hey, Greg, as this first quarter winds down, and I'm charting down here, I've seen 2 plays defensively from Arkansas where their 3 technique, their defensive tackle, has actually played on LSU's side of the line of scrimmage. This LSU offensive line, to this point, is owning Arkansas's front 4.
That's where this game's determined, in the trenches, offensive and defensive line play.
Fournette straight ahead. First down, Leonard Fournette to the 7-yard line. Dwayne Eugene on the stop, but a fresh set of downs from the 7 for the Tigers.
It's a great first quarter for LSU. Had a tough, physical, emotional game last week against Alabama. Couldn't get anything going offensively. They've answered those questions tonight.
Last week they had 125 yards of total offense against Alabama. Tonight the Tigers with 115 to go along with 7 points in the first. Darren McFadden, part of that Arkansas team that beat LSU when it was ranked #1 in 2007. He was swinging the bat afterwards, and the bat is back. McFadden's on injured reserve right now, so he is here in Fayetteville cheering on the Razorbacks, who are down 7-0, and it might get worse. LSU with a 1st and goal on the 7. Here's Fournette, and Leonard Fournette into the end zone for a 2nd touchdown already. After the interception by Allen, the Tigers strike quickly. Fournette with his 7th touchdown of the season on the ground.
LSU is just dominating the line of scrimmage, making Leonard Fournette and Derrius Guice job much easier than it was a week ago.
14-0 after the Delahousie extra point. The LSU Tigers, after the loss to Alabama last week, we wonder if they would respond. They have in a big way. The LSU Tigers taking advantage of a turnover deep in Arkansas territory. They forced a turnover in every game this season, and they lead 14-0. 6 seconds into quarter number 2. Short kickoff, and it's Stewart from the 10. Wrapped up at the 20-yard line.
For this team, does so many things, both in the passing game and obviously opening up holes for those outstanding running backs that line up right behind them.
You saw those rush defense numbers. They had the bye week in between the Auburn and the Florida games to get things right, but a struggle so far early on. Raleigh Williams on 1st down running the ball for Arkansas, picks up 3 to the 25, tripped up by Frank Herron.
No, Greg, when we were talking to Dave Aranda, the defensive coordinator at LSU, he said, listen, we wake up playing man, we go to bed playing man, we get off the bus playing man. But we know Arkansas is going to run it. If they run it, we're in trouble. So far, holding up in the trenches in the front 7 for LSU.
Winning at the point of attack on almost every snap defensively.
They're going to keep it on the ground here with Williams, and he's brought down by Kendall Beckwith and Devon Godcha. So it'll bring up 3rd down for Arkansas. At some point, if you're the Razorbacks, you got to sustain drives the way LSU's running the ball. And Arkansas normally does that. They lead the country in time of possession.
I think this is a critical 3rd down. I know it's early in the game. Arkansas certainly, they can get back in any game the way they throw the football. This is an important time. The defense is reeling a little bit. LSU's running game's rolling. Austin Allen's got to make a good decision and pick up a fresh set of downs here.
On 3rd and 4, Allen with time, and the pass is tipped, incomplete. Beckwith broke it up. It was intended for Jared Cornelius. Got a 250-pound linebacker covering a wide receiver, put a big hit on him and broke up the pass.
Dave Aranda says we wake up, we go to bed, we play man all the time. So what do they do tonight? They play zone. Beckwith standing in the perfect spot to break up the 3rd down attempt. So far, Arkansas's offense just can't get anything going in large part due to outstanding play defensively by LSU.
Returnable for Tre'Davious White, but he's going the wrong way. Brought down at the 20-yard line by Troy Allison. What's the adjustment? This is a good Arkansas staff, coaching staff. What do you do differently to stop him?
You have to rally to the football, hold up very strong at the point of attack, and then make sure you cut off the backside just like that.
That'll work. Bijan Jackson beat his man and then gets Fournette to the ground before he even has a shot. Loss of 5.
I mean, he was through before you even had a chance. Just penetration on the front side. Obviously busted by the LSU offensive line. You have to let Leonard Fournette get going if you're LSU. Against Ole Miss, you mentioned the huge game in large part due to the fact that he was untouched to the second level almost every time.
And you saw when he went down in a tackle, he was injured. And then he's on the sideline now. Remember, missed 3 games with an ankle injury. Etling looking downfield and wide open receiver. First down to the 35. Traven Durrell. But watch the reaction here of Fournette right there. You can see it as he's tackled by Jackson. Injuries have been a problem for Fournette.
And Dave, he's not being attended by the athletic training staff right now. Brandon Harris, backup quarterback's talking to him as 7 walks it off. And that sure did ignite this crowd here in Fayetteville.
But then the quarterback Etling is sitting in the pocket, waiting all day, and throws a strike for a first down to an open receiver. Guice picks up 2.
No, Greg, Dave, I think getting back to the question you asked, what's the adjustment? Well, number one, you've got to have absolute war daddies up front. Guys that can clog gaps, they can occupy blockers, allow your linebackers to run to the football. Greg, I agree, you got to cut off the backside, but maybe most importantly, you got to be able to be willing to play man on the perimeter and load the box and dare people to throw the ball against man-to-man coverage to beat you.
LSU has capable wide receivers. They can beat man-to-man on a regular basis, just whether or not Etling can deliver it accurately.
And Etling going to throw a deep ball, and my goodness, Dupree is wide open inside the 20-yard line. Finally tracked down at the 14, but he was wide open in the middle of the field.
Mentioned beating man-to-man, one-on-one. Malachi Dupree delivers on a post, and a perfect throw from Danny Etling. Got it up and down right on his landmark. What a huge play for this LSU offense, for Danny Etling's confidence. And now Arkansas has to be very aware of everything over the top when it comes to the passing game.
That was 49 yards. LSU fans saying, where's that been? We haven't seen the deep ball at all. Here's Guice, running room inside the 10, and Guice inside the 5. A first down for the Tigers. It'll be another first and goal as they look to go up 3 touchdowns here.
Arkansas just has nothing going right now along the defensive line. Guys are getting pushed back. Defenders are yelling at each other, confused. Mistakes abound for the Hogs defense.
Again, Guice in for the banged up Fournette. And Guice getting the pitch, turning it upfield and into the end zone. Touchdown, LSU. That's the 8th rushing touchdown for Derrius Guice this season. And again, it just shows you mentally and physically how challenging it is in this conference, and in particular this division, to bounce back week to week. I mean, LSU couldn't do anything offensively last week. Yes, they're playing Alabama. Meanwhile, Arkansas destroyed Florida. And 7 days later, the Tigers are punking Arkansas right now because the Razorbacks can do nothing on offense, and defensively they're getting slapped around. They've given up 200 yards offense to LSU. Derrius Guice with a touchdown run. Leonard Fournette with 2 rushing scores. It's all LSU. Cameron Gamble. Deion Stewart comes up to the 11 to field it. And gets clocked at the 22-yard line. And we'll see what Arkansas is made of. Down 3 scores. Allen gets pummeled and throws incomplete, trying to hit Jeremy Sprinkle. Man, he took another shot. That time it was Bauer lighting him up. 2nd and 10.
Bauer just unblocked. Tight end released. No one's responsible for the end of the line of scrimmage. Those are opportunities you dream of if you're an outside linebacker or a defensive end. Miscommunication, it looks like, in the front and the protection. As a result, Austin Allen delivers an inaccurate football and has to clean off his jersey.
They're going to run the ball to Whaley on 2nd down. Cuts it upfield and is free. Shoves the defender out of bounds, and that'll get the crowd going. Jamal Adams, who's a big hitter, got pushed by Devil Whaley on a 37-yard run.
Left foot in the ground, north-south. Couple of over-pursuing defenders. But you love when a running back finishes a run right there. Extends that right arm. It's an attitude play from the talented freshman Devil Whaley.
And Adams, okay. I've delivered some of those. I appreciate that.
He's been on the receiving end, and I can assure you he has laid out a lot more people than he's been laid out. I can promise you that. Jamal Adams, one of the best safeties in college football.
Well, that was big. Arkansas needed a big play. They got it there from their true freshman. Now let's see if the Razorbacks can complete this drive and at least get some points. Raleigh Williams is in now at running back. Here comes an end around. Cody Hollister, and he is slammed to the ground. Frank Aaron made the hit after a minimal gain. So they try the jet sweep there. Hollister does have a rushing score this year, but couldn't really get anything. There's Dan Eno, 2nd-year offensive coordinator. You mentioned it during the break. This is a prideful Arkansas team. Eno's told us going into the year, Austin Allen had high hopes. He wanted to start the year against Louisiana Tech and light them up. Well, it wasn't happening. They were trailing in the 4th quarter. Allen was over on the sideline throwing his helmet around, banging it against the ground. Eno said, look, I know this hasn't worked out how you planned and we wanted, but you got to win the game for me. As he completes it here, just shy of the marker to Hatcher, he was able to settle Allen down. And he went out and won the game in the 4th quarter. Louisiana Tech turned out to be a pretty good team, and that goes down as a good non-conference win.
It's funny because Brandon Allen was a starting quarterback here for 3 years. Known for being very composed, relaxed, laid back type of personality. In comes Austin Allen, the starting quarterback now. Very emotional, very fiery guy. He certainly will get his offense going at some point with some accurate passing.
They're going to run the ball in 3rd and short, and they get it. Raleigh Williams able to move the sticks. You know, Austin, it's hard when you follow your brother one place, but he's done it everywhere. Junior varsity, high school in Fayetteville, and now at Arkansas. Austin is a junior. Brother Brandon is with Jacksonville. Was a 6th-round draft choice last year.
No, Greg, Dave, one thing about young quarterbacks, sometimes managing emotions is every bit as important as managing the game. And with a young quarterback, that's what Dan Enos has had to do. And now you got to understand the situation you're in, down and behind, going into the red area.
First down on the 32. Williams running right. Boy, it looked like there was a cutback lane there to the left. He kept it play side and only got a couple of yards. Not sure if you saw the same thing there, but looked like he missed something.
My goodness, was there ever a cutback lane? He's running a power, trying to get downhill, following his blockers. But over pursuit by Duke Riley, number 40, put that right foot in the ground and go. You have a chance to go one-on-one against a safety and possibly hit your head on the goalpost. You've got to be a little bit more patient and allow the flow to dictate where you're going to run the football.
On 2nd and 13, pressure coming up the middle. Allen is drilled and sacked. Duke Riley was back there for LSU, and it's 3rd and long. Loss of 10.
Duke Riley did a great job of recognizing what's going on. Whaley's responsible for number 40. Number 40 is going to go as soon as he sees Whaley get connected with the outside. And you see Devil Whaley look back and say, oh no, I forgot I'm a freshman. I got to know my protection rules. It's a great job of recognizing by Duke Riley, seeing that the running back who's responsible for him got tied up elsewhere, deciding to green dog and sacking the quarterback, setting up an impossible third down.
Allen gonna throw it deep. Receiver there. It's caught inside the 5. He stayed in bounds. Touchdown, Dominique Reed. Boy, Tre'Davious White stopped. There is a penalty marker down. White stopped. I don't know that he realized that Reed ran past him.
Offside. Number 49 of the defense lined up in the neutral zone. Penalties decline. Touchdown.
So Key was offside. It is a touchdown, but keep an eye here on the corner, Tre'Davious White.
Wow. Third and forever. He slows down when the receiver slowed down. That's inexcusable in man coverage. It's third and long. The last thing you can do is give up a deep ball over the top. Tre'Davious White's one of the best in the business.
Only the 10th touchdown allowed by LSU defensively this season, and on 3rd and 22, it's a 44-yard touchdown pass to Dominique Reed.
And they're calling the Hogs here in Fayetteville.
It also shows us what we were documenting with Austin Allen as well, his ability to bounce back. Touchback, here's 21-7 LSU. A reminder that Alabama has clinched the SEC West with a win today. Auburn losing to Georgia. And you look at LSU and Arkansas where they are in the standings. Do you think Alabama can lose the SEC championship game and get to the college football playoff?
That's going to be very difficult because that SEC East champion, whether it's Tennessee or Florida, is going to be a very ugly loss if Alabama were to lose. However, I think we should not deal in the hypotheticals. Well, Alabama's going to be 30 points better, more than likely, than whoever it is they're playing in the championship game.
So let's go the week prior. Can they lose to Auburn, win the SEC championship, and make the playoff with one loss?
I do. I think they can definitely get back in. You're afforded a mistake along the way in the regular season. If you win a Power 5 league with 1 or 0 losses, proof's in the pudding. You're in the college football playoff.
Etling dropping it off to Moore. Nice play by Randy Ramsey. It's going to bring him third down. I think you can do that in the SEC and the Big Ten. I'm not sure you can do that in the ACC and the Pac-12. I think Washington.
Or the Big 12 either.
Right. Well, there's no championship game in the Big 12. But in the Pac-12, I think Washington's got to go unbeaten. And in the ACC, this really hurts Clemson. I think they're going to need some teams to fall in front of them for them to get in if they win out.
And you think about Clemson too, that Auburn loss now affects Clemson as well, because that was a really nice resume builder for the Tigers, because they went on the road to Jordan-Hare in the first game of the year and won.
Big third down for Arkansas defensively, trying to keep momentum. Can they stuff the fullback? And it's going to be close. By Keithan Mouton appears to be short. And it is 4th down. That's a big 3-and-out for Arkansas's defense here after they scored the touchdown with a big play. You got to punt it here if you're LSU. Not going to go for it. 4th down on your own 35. And Rob Smith, the defensive coordinator for Arkansas, helping his guys rise up and make a stop.
Never understood that fullback dive. I understand it's a quick hitter, but you have 2 of the best running backs in college football. Number 5, Derrius Guice, was on the field there. Hand it to him with a lead blocker and a full head of steam.
And it's an excellent kick. LSU will let it bounce and roll all the way down to the 1-yard line. That may change the game plan for the Razorbacks. And they're going to pass. Allen stepping up. Look out. Throwing deep. It flutters, and it's incomplete. His arm may have been hit. It didn't look good coming off the hand of Austin Allen.
It was most definitely hit. Dropping back. trying to steal one deep. That arm just got hit ever so slightly as he was trying to release the football.
Yeah, to Sean Bauer
right there. Dangerous play for the Razorbacks.
So it's 2nd down and 10. They run the ball. They do get it out. Williams will give them a little breathing room. Nice job out to the 10-yard line. 3rd down and 1. Again, let's see how the Razorbacks handle this here.
Well, I know a lot of people put so much stake into that Alabama game, but the way they've responded tonight, starting the game quick, playing well both offensively and defensively, speaks to the way he's able to encourage this football team.
They need a yard here on 3rd down. Raleigh Williams able to pick it up to the 12. Arkansas has 2 timeouts. Not sure, though, because they're still deep in their own territory, if they want to just let the clock run here. Starts on the ready for play. That looks to be the philosophy right now. Don't want to take any chances down here.
You do have to be impressed, though, guys, with this LSU team's ability to respond, and not just mentally off of last week, but as you mentioned, Greg, in the open, that is a backyard brawl. Those are 2 training rooms at Tuscaloosa and Baton Rouge that were overbooked last Sunday, I can tell you that.
Here's Raleigh Williams. And he gets maybe a yard. We'll see if LSU uses its final timeout here or if the half comes to an end. The Tigers will get the football to start the 2nd half, and they lead Arkansas 21-7 at halftime behind Leonard Fournette's 2 rushing touchdowns. Guice with a rushing score, but how about Danny Etling throwing for a $141 in that first half. 222 yards of offense for LSU. Stay tuned for the halftime report with Adnan Burke. 21-7 LSU.
Coach, you got to be pleased with the start of that first half. What's the message to the kids at halftime here?
60 minutes. You know, we're in enemy territory. We got to go. We can't take nothing for granted. We got to keep on moving the football. We can't let them beat us deep. We came here to win a big-time football game. This is a good ball club. They're going to fight back. We got to fight for 60 minutes.
You obviously put Leonard back in the game after re-entering his high ankle sprain. You feel confident about him in the second half to go full?
No question. He's a great player. He wants to win this football game. He's fired up.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
And you're watching the SEC on ESPN. LSU has not won a road game the week after the Alabama game in 20 years. Now we get it. They haven't always played a road game the week after Alabama, but it still tells you what you need to know. The Tigers have not played well, Greg, when they've had that tough physical game and mentally tough game against Alabama. But, boy, what a first half.
Great first half. Not only have they run the ball effectively, the passing game looks outstanding. Danny Etling, very accurate, decisive, hit a couple big plays down the field. They've really been moving on all cylinders, both offensively and defensively. Just got to keep it going into the second half.
Yeah, Danny Etling was terrific throwing the football in that first half. Arguably his best performance passing this season. And, of course, when you have a run game of Leonard Fournette and Derrius Guice, you could be three-dimensional: run, pass, play, action. And that's why the Tigers lead at 21-7 as we get ready to start the third quarter, and LSU will get the football to start this half. McFain kicking it deep, and Guice will take a knee. It'll be a touchback. Come out to the 25.
We know Fournette's a star. Guice is a star in the making. But Danny Etling's been very good with the football. Recognizes pressure, gets it out to Leonard Fournette on the swing for a big gain to set up their first score. And then he has Malachi Dupree one-on-one on the outside. He's able to get it up and down before the free safety can get back to make a play. Very accurate with the football. He's really done everything you could possibly ask of him to this point. Smart, decisive, good in the run game, and making good quality decisions. That's what you want to see if you're an LSU Tiger fan.
Let's see how Arkansas responds, down 2 scores. First down in the LSU 25. The pitch to Fournette, and he gets maybe a yard. Gang tackled at the 26 as we check in with Tom Luganbill.
Well, guys, Brett Bielema in pretty good spirits coming out of the locker room. I asked him about the inability to convert on third down because they've been in manageable third down situations on offense. He actually joked and said, yeah, maybe we would prefer it to be 3rd and 25. The adjustments on defense, they got hit in the mouth. And that's exactly how he put it. He wasn't worried about the 2 big plays they gave up. He felt they responded from there, but they've got to be more consistent sustaining drives on offense.
Yeah, Brett talking about that 3rd and 22 where they scored a 44-yard touchdown pass. Instead, they throw it out in the flat. That's behind Chark. And Chark breaks the tackle. He's ahead of the 22. And they go down as a run play. That looked backwards, and so it would have been a live ball, and Chark didn't snare that. 3rd and long.
That's why you take the penalty, because now it's 3rd and 13 as opposed to 3rd and 10. Obviously, you have to cover for 1 more down. But this is a tough spot for this LSU offense. Obviously, heavy play action type of team. Play actions don't work as well when it's an obvious passing situation. If I'm offensive coordinator Steve Ensminger, I'm thinking screen, or I'm just handing it off to Leonard Fournette, one of the best players in college football. See if he can get something for me.
And they will hand it to Fournette here. He turns it upfield and gets to the 30-yard line. He lost the ball on the play, but they're going to rule Fournette down. Randy Ramsey, as there's pushing and shoving after the play, and now maybe a guy took a swing at an LSU player. Dietrich Wise was getting into it with DJ Chark, but no penalty flags. Again, the ruling in the field is that he's down. Let's see here if he's down before the ball. Oh my goodness, that ball's out.
That ball is out.
And Arkansas had an immediate recovery. A clear recovery by Arkansas on the play. You can see this.
Review. The ball is loose and is a fumble prior to the runner's knee down. There's immediate recovery by Arkansas. 1st down.
That is a huge play for the Razorbacks, something they needed. Now, they were going to get the ball back via a punt because of the LSU penalties and then Fournette coming up short. But now you have the ball inside the LSU 30 as Fournette coughs it up.
Huge play. Austin Allen has been at his best in the second half of football games and also in the red zone as they near the red area right now.
They go out of 2-back. Keep an eye on Kendrick Jackson here, the fullback, leading the way for Raleigh Williams. And he's got a big hole inside the 20. Williams wrestling with the DB is all the way to the 10. An 18-yard run by Williams, and it was Jackson, the fullback, out there in front.
Williams had a chance at this cut earlier in the game. This time he hits it. And look at the result. Huge gain. First play of the second half. All the momentum with the Hogs right now as they're knocking on the door.
Well, that's a great point, Greg, because in the first half, you mentioned it, there was the cutback lane that wasn't there. He kept it play side, but that time he took the hole, and they have a 1st and goal. They'll give it to Williams again. He moves the pile down to the 7-yard line, maybe the 6. Raleigh Williams closing in on 1,000 yards. He leads the SEC in attempts, and it's remarkable what he's done this year considering what happened to him last year. Had a serious neck injury, was carted off the field, and they weren't sure whether he not only would play last season but would ever play again. But he's at 1,003 yards now, the 4th straight year that Arkansas has had a 1,000-yard running back. On 2nd and goal, here's Williams again, and he is grabbed in the backfield by Arden Key. Able to get back to the line of scrimmage. Now it's 3rd and goal.
Arden Key is so good. Just completely stuffed that counter play. Williams had nowhere to go. And now it's 3rd down against a very good red zone defense. Austin Allen has been at his best throwing the football in this part of the field. Of his 19 touchdown passes coming into this game, 15 come in the red area.
LSU not sure if they have enough guys on the field. There was a defender running off, Frank Herring, but now he's back out there. Play action for Allen on 3rd down, and the ball is nearly picked off by Arden Key. It's incomplete. 4th down. And Arkansas will bring in the field goal team.
Just can't say enough good things about Arden Key. He sees the boot. Allen's got a man open. The only guy between Allen and Hatcher for the touchdown is Arden Key. And sure enough, like he usually does, he makes the play.
He's so long, he's dropping there. He's 6'6", got long arms. And the attempt is good by Adam McFain from 24 yards. So Arkansas gets 3 points off the Fournette fumble. On a chilly night, mid-November in the SEC West. Arkansas at 6-3, all 3 losses against top 10 teams. LSU at 5-3, coming off a loss to Alabama. The Razorbacks just kicked a field goal after a Leonard Fournette fumble. Now it's Guice on the kick return for the Tigers. And Guice won't even make it to the 20. Now let's see how LSU responds after a turnover, its first giveaway of the game. They got behind the sticks with a negative play and then a penalty. Fournette back out there. He was injured in the first half, returned at the end of the first half. They fake it to him here, and Etling throws in traffic. It is knocked away, incomplete. The pistol formation on 2nd and 19. Here's Fournette getting outside. Look out, Fournette past the 20 and out to the 27-yard line. He got almost all of it there on 2nd and 19. It will be 3rd down, though.
He's so fast. And once he gets going, he's so hard to bring down. You see Brooks Ellis doesn't get there quick enough. Now sets up from 2nd and 19 to 3rd and 2. That's what great players give you. Leonard Fournette is as good as they come.
When he's not touched in the backfield and he's got a full head of steam and he hits the hole, that is a grown man running. 3rd and 2. Here's a pitch to Guice. Arkansas's got him, but they can't make the tackle, and Guice is down the sideline in Arkansas territory, all the way to the 36-yard line. They had a chance to get Guice at the line of scrimmage. He broke a tackle and went for 37 yards.
They went with the fullback dive on 3rd and short earlier in the game. This time they faked the fullback dive, go with a little Vegas flip out the backside. A great job by Guice in the open field, picking up big yards when this LSU offense had to have it.
Guice stays in on 1st and 10 in Arkansas territory. Guice finds a hole. He's to the 30-yard line and dragging defenders to the 25. The run game for LSU heating up here in the 3rd.
It's got to be tough to take Leonard Fournette off the field for as good as he is, but it makes it a lot easier when his backup is as smooth as Derrius Guice is. You see how effortlessly he moves side to side. He's actually, tonight, the leading rusher so far here in the early 3rd quarter.
They told us he would get the ball tonight. He had only 2 carries last week. He's got 10 for 86 yards. Fournette is in there, but it's a play fake. Etling in trouble, gets tripped up and pushed out of bounds by Ramsey, and here comes a flag. Boy, I don't know about that. He pushed him. The question is, was he out of bounds?
Personal foul, unnecessary roughness, number 10 of the defense. Penalties half the distance to the goal line. Automatic 1st down.
He was definitely headed out of bounds, but was he out of bounds when contact was made?
He's close enough. Etling does a good job of trying to get to the sideline and anything extra. I mean, he's clearly given himself out.
I don't know. I don't like that call at all.
Maybe I'm just a quarterback.
Maybe. Well, we know you're a quarterback, but you can.
I'm a quarterback, and I don't like it.
Yeah, come on, guys. I mean, I know he's heading out of bounds, but he's still in play when contact is made.
But they'll call it every time. Every time. He's clearly headed for the sidelines. Any push, anything extra, it's going to result in a penalty.
Fournette is in as the Wildcat quarterback, and here he goes. Trying to find a hole, and he's down to about the 2-yard line. Dragged down by Tywan Johnson.
Good patience there, Greg, from Leonard Fournette. If you saw just the slight delay once he got the direct snap, and then very quick with his feet to navigate that inline crease. And I think there's times with Leonard Fournette, you and I have talked about this, where he could stand to be more patient, where he gets ahead of his blocks, doesn't utilize the value of the fullback. Really good patience there by number 7.
You're right, Tom. Great job right there by Leonard Fournette.
Fournette on 2nd and goal, looking for his 3rd touchdown. He's got it. Great response by the Tigers after the turnover. Leonard Fournette had 5 rushing touchdowns on the season coming in. He's got 3 tonight. An Arkansas team that normally dominates time of possession has had the ball for just 16 minutes. And they find themselves trailing by double figures midway through the 3rd. The extra point makes it an 18-point LSU lead. We get to a lot of college campuses. This is one of the coolest things I've ever seen. It's a senior walk that's 4 miles long and has the years and names engraved of everybody from the 1800s. And the names of these players will be engraved on the concrete for the senior walk. Over 170,000 graduates are now listed. They will include Dan Skipper, Dietrich Wise, Drew Morgan, and others playing on senior night for Arkansas tonight. The last 2 games of the regular season for the Razorbacks are on the road. And they're down 18 points to LSU. A lot of time left. But they're playing against a great defense and great special teams as Stewart is spun to the ground at the 10-yard line. From the 29, it's Whaley. And he's pushed back after a gain of 1. Who do you think right now, since Clemson lost, is the most dangerous team in college football in terms of a challenger to Alabama?
It's got to be Ohio State. Remember 2014, they of course beat Alabama in the semifinal. But if you look at that roster, the talent that Urban Meyer's recruited, the depth along the defensive line, and the seniority that they get from a quarterback in J.T. Barrett, they're poised for big moments.
Allen throws complete. Tackle made by Cornelius. So no Michigan, huh?
I'm going with Michigan. I think you can't put the cart in front of the horse, and that game's going to be it could be one of those knockdown, drag 'em outs like we saw with LSU and Alabama a week ago. And whoever makes the fewest errors makes the biggest plays. That one's going to be a great one for the big game.
2 great defenses with Michigan and Alabama. If they get there, I think a lot of people will be watching that one.
1 quarter to play in Fayetteville. LSU has put on a show running the football. They have mauled Arkansas here tonight, 28-10. College football nearing the end of the regular season. The Golden Boot at stake tonight in this rivalry between LSU and Arkansas. The Razorbacks have won the last 2 meetings. Allen throwing here, and it's broken up, incomplete. Duke Riley made the play. Morgan the intended receiver, and it's 4th down and 6.
Drew Morgan trying to be on the receiving end there. He was open for a second. Riley just closed so quick. Austin Allen just a little bit late. That's what this LSU defense does to you. You have to be perfect in the passing game because of their speed and their ability to recover.
Colby Baker to kick it deep. And it's a good punt. White immediately signals, and the fair catch made around the 15-yard line. Early 4th quarter, LSU leading by 18.
If I'm not mistaken, this is the 5th game in Leonard Fournette's career in which he's had 3 touchdowns rushing. Pretty remarkable.
Derrius Guice here, and he's got a 1st down, picking up 12. Guice over 100 yards rushing on the day on just 12 attempts, and only 2 carries against Alabama. Big hole for Guice here. He steps over a defender and dragged down. Otherwise, it's a touchdown. A gain of about 20. Here's Tom.
Well, as of right now, with 14 minutes to go, they're going to shut down Leonard Fournette here for the rest of the game. for LSU. Let Guice take it the rest of the way. 28 Williams, the backup. Now he's a thumper. He'll be the guy that will come in and get him those short yardage situations, but 7 on the bench.
You know you're good when the opposing team's fans are asking for a selfie.
In the middle of a game.
In the middle of a game.
Not a fan of that, guys.
Play action pass here. Etling rolling out, throws to the sideline. It's a catch and a first down for Traven Durrell. Guys, I know that Tiger fans are living week to week with how Ed Orgeron and LSU is doing, but I'm not so sure that the administration is. Wouldn't it be an upset if he gets the job? Not because it's Ed Orgeron, but because it's a job that's in demand for major guys who are currently head coaches at very successful programs. As Etling hands it off to Guice, and he is inside the 30-yard line.
Even if he wins out, I still think it would be a surprise if he had the interim tag removed. I know he's remarkably popular with his players, with the fans. People love Ed Orgeron, self-included. He's great from a motivational standpoint, and that's what you're in when you're an interim coach. Did a great job at SC, has done a great job here to this point. But as far as building a program, building his own program, there are legitimate question marks. And with some of the big names that would want this job if given the opportunity, I think it'd be very surprising if, in fact, he was the head coach beyond this year.
I think it's really slim. If there is a chance at all. Tom, are you on board with that?
I am, and listen, it's more about other factors than it is about Ed Orgeron.
Right.
I think there's tremendous pressure to bring in some candidates that have a distinct, successful offensive background. I also believe that it can be dangerous at times to make a comfort hire, the popular hire that in the moment everybody's excited about. And if you do your homework as an administration, as a board of trustees, or you go out and you hire a search firm, you're not only going to research the other candidates, but you're going to dig into the background and research your current interim coach as well. And so there's a lot to unfold here that I think will take place here as we go over the next 6 weeks.
This is one of the best jobs in college football.
I think it's a top 5 job.
Easily, Tom. With the talent that you have in your state, no other Power 5 school in the state of Louisiana, the passion, the fan base, the money.
Guice gets the first down. Spun forward to the 13-yard line.
I think there are 3 coaches maybe right now at their current institution that wouldn't be interested in the job, and everybody else would look at the job as one that is better than the one they currently have.
I think I could name those 3: Saban, Meyer, Peterson. Those are 3 guys that are staying at their schools. 4 maybe Harbaugh, okay,
yeah.
but other than that, I think your point is it's a desirable job for just about anybody. And if you're LSU, you know you can get anybody or almost anybody. So even if Ed Orgeron would have beaten Alabama, they run the table. It would have been a shocker if he would have gotten the job. That's how I view it, as Guice is down to the 9.
From an interim standpoint, too, guys, let's consider, rarely are there coaching changes within a program that has had such sustained success that when the change takes place, whoever gets the job isn't taking over a rebuilding situation. We're not talking about a bare cupboard here. And Ed Orgeron's had the opportunity as an interim head coach at 2 places now where you've had really, really good players, so that the end of the run during that season looks really good for the interim guy.
The pitch to Guice on 2nd and 6. And he is close to a first down. Guys, I think the bottom line, though, is if you're LSU, you didn't need to be here. They were going to fire Les Miles last year, and they didn't. They caved to pressure from the media and fans and didn't. So this almost becomes a wasted season. It's as if you were looking for a reason to fire Les Miles. It happened early in the year. You go with Ed Orgeron, a guy that you're, again, not likely to hire as the full-time guy.
And I think the administration still has questions to answer. Joe Oliva, the athletic director, I think his handling of the Les Miles situation at season's end last year was very disappointing. and he has yet to answer some of the questions that I know LSU fans have for him. And I hope someday in the very near future, he'll address some of the things that went on behind the scenes in coming to the conclusion that he came to retain Les Miles last year and then dismiss Les Miles 4 games into this season.
Second and goal as LSU's just running the ball, taking time off the clock here. And Etling gets to about the 3-yard line. Agim on the stop. And talking with Ed Orgeron, look, he handled it. He wasn't going to say anything about how much communication he's had with administration about whether he's going to get the head coach or not. He just is very grateful as somebody who is a Louisiana native. He told us that, look, this is just great that I have this moment, whenever it ends or if it ends, to coach LSU.
He's listed off about 20 players he idolized as a young child growing up in South Louisiana.
Third and goal, Guice won't get in. Fourth down coming up. See if LSU just goes for it here. And Ed Orgeron is one of the top assistant coaches in college football. He's been for many years. And, you know, maybe the Ole Miss situation, it's unfair to look at that and determine whether he can be a full-time head coach again based on that. They didn't have great players. They were 10-25. And he did a good job at USC and has done a good job here. But he also has very good players here, had very good players at SC.
Well, Ed, you have the resources to maintain those players here. And within the state, his roots, that does play into his favor.
Tell you what, if he doesn't get the head job here, he will be considered somewhere else for an open head coaching position.
Special teams coach B.D. Pavito living it up with the players as they're rolling here in Fayetteville. 31-10 as we welcome you back to ESPN College Football Primetime, presented by Hampton by Hilton. Midway through the fourth quarter. And LSU with an impressive bounce back after the emotional defeat at home to Alabama last week. Fielded at the 12. There's Deion Stewart. Wrestled to the ground at the 27. And here it's 31-10. LSU in front as Austin Allen looks to pass and dumps it off on the screen. Williams past the 40-yard line into LSU territory. Still going. Didn't go out of the bounds until now inside the 20.
I mean, that's a heck of a play. Going with a little screen. Perfectly executed. A couple of lead blockers out in front. Look at those big boys run. Stiff arm. That's a heck of a play right there.
47-yard pass play. Can they score quickly? Allen throws an interception. Picked off by Dwayne Thomas, who read the route better than the receiver. Well, you get a big play, and then you give it right back to the defense. Thomas with the pick. Allen throwing his second interception of the night.
Just a great break on the football right after a big play. It's been the story of the night. Arkansas just can't put it all together. Thomas making the great play, getting 2 feet down.
Don't forget Cal Washington State up next here on ESPN. A loss of 1 for LSU running the football. Guice taken down for a setback. All right, somebody's moving up. And there may be 2 of these teams moving up depending on what happens with Washington and USC. Washington's best win is at Utah. Ohio State's best win in overtime at Wisconsin. They still have Michigan and Columbus. Louisville beat Florida State, lost to Clemson. They have to go to Houston. You mentioned you think Ohio State is in the best position to move up. Is there another team off the radar that isn't on that picture?
I think Oklahoma. They have a couple losses, obviously. And then Wisconsin, who also has a couple losses, but will have a chance to play against Ohio State or Michigan in the Big Ten championship possibly.
Derrius Guice, we talked about the speed of Fournette. This guy's no slouch. Guice takes it to the house. Touchdown LSU, 94 yards. Derrius Guice, who had 2 carries last week, has rushed for 252 yards and 2 touchdowns tonight. And the boot is going back to Baton Rouge.
They said he deserved more carries. I think he's made the most of them tonight. 21 carries, 250 plus yards.
You and I went down on the field before, in part because we wanted to see just some of these guys in their silks. Leonard, Fournette in particular. And we both walked by Derrius Guice and said, boy, that's a good-looking kid, too.
That's the understatement of the day. I mean, there wasn't even much of a hole there. He created it on his own, then put on the burners. He's running away from an SEC defense.
Here's Stewart waiting for it on the 7 for the Razorbacks. He gets tattooed at the 22. If you look at the 4 best teams right now, or even the 5 best teams, how can you say Clemson is playing better than Louisville right now? Screen pass caught at the 30-yard line by Whaley. Past the 45, has the first down. Guys, but they beat Louisville, but that was a month and a half ago. I mean, Louisville has destroyed teams. Clemson barely beat NC State. I know they pounded Syracuse, but they barely beat NC State. They didn't play well in some other games.
What about Louisville's
home to Pitt?
But Louisville, what about their game against Virginia, in which it took a throw in the final 15 seconds to secure the victory, or their game against Duke on a Friday night when they won 24-10, but that game felt closer than the score might indicate. Every team, for the most part, has blemishes. Is the college football playoff great or what? It's the conversation. The fact that the playoff, even though it's 4 teams, the playoff started 11 weeks ago. You look at Oklahoma, lost 2 games in the first 3 weeks, won every game since. They're still on the outside looking in, but could very easily get back into the conversation as the season goes on.
Allen throws it away, going to bring up 3rd and 4. And guys, you know what? If we had 8 teams, we wouldn't be having as much fun right now. This conversation wouldn't mean anything because Clemson lost 1, but they're not going to drop past 8. The fact that it's 4, I think if you go to 8, you take away a little bit from the regular season.
Protect the regular season. And that's what they've done with the 4-team playoff. It still matters. You know a Power 5 champion is going to be on the outside looking in, Tom. You have to keep it at 4.
Well, and the thing that I love about this whole discussion is, what if the things that needed to unfold down the stretch here would allow for a 2-loss Big 12 champion to get in, regardless of whether they have a championship game or not. Remember, just a few short weeks ago, they were done, out of it.
Yeah.
So let's see what happens with some other games, and now all of a sudden, how much weight would that carry if it came down to a decision in that room late in the season?
Well, and Tom, there's 1-loss teams like West Virginia that are outside the top 10.
Right.
You know, they play Oklahoma next week. So another penalty marker down. I mean, it looked, and I don't know how you guys, I thought seriously it was going to be, it would come down to one spot.
Number 4 did not get set prior to the snap. 5-yard penalty. First down.
Guys, I thought the way things are going, it was coming down to one spot. It was going to be Alabama, Clemson, Michigan, or Ohio State, or maybe both, and Washington. It was going to be between those 5 teams. But with the losses tonight, I think 12 or 15 teams are going to be in the conversation.
And a lot of us looked at Clemson and said, they're probably the safest bet to get into the college football playoff. They play Pitt at home. They play South Carolina at home. They go on the road to Wake Forest, but they might have had the easiest road and probably the least likely to lose one down the stretch.
Sprinkle dives and gets into the end zone for the Arkansas touchdown. 12th career touchdown. That is number 1 all time by Arkansas tight ends.
See if that ball crosses the plane. It looks like that left elbow is down about a half-yard shy of the end zone.
Whaley fumbles the ball. Beckwith recovers in the end zone for a touchback. It's been that kind of a night for the Hogs.
play sums it up. Have what you think is a touchdown to sprinkle. Review, brought up short, fumble. On the way in to the end zone. He just didn't collapse around the football as he tried to take it from Austin Allen. Just so many mistakes by Arkansas tonight. Offensively, yeah, it's going to look a little better than it probably was. 291 yards of offense, but that number was around 150 5 or 6 minutes ago. This Arkansas team just has to learn how to be more consistent. When they're playing well, they can play with anybody. But when they're playing poorly, it can get ugly very quick.
You go 59-3 loss to Auburn, followed by 31-10 win to Florida, followed by 38-10 loss to LSU. I was really surprised tonight that Arkansas played as poorly as they did.
Especially knowing how LSU played last week. Left it all on the field, so close. 3.5 quarters, 0-0 ball game. Thought they might come out with a little bit of a hangover. That certainly wasn't the case. Scored on the first possession and have poured it on since. But Arkansas, still a lot to play for. A lot of opportunities on their schedule. Can still obviously get to 8 wins in the regular season, which is an outstanding accomplishment.
Nick Brossette picks up the first down. The 4th-string running back for LSU. All right, let's get you caught up on some scores around the country and show you the Capital One College Football Playoff Rankings top 10. So Alabama won, Clemson lost, Michigan is down, Washington is down, Ohio State has trounced its last 2 opponents. Louisville is up big now on Wake after trailing. Wisconsin is rolling. A&M is leading, but it's not over yet. Auburn lost today. Penn State won today. Again, the Nittany Lions were the team that everybody looked at when 2 weeks ago, the initial rankings, they were number 12 and said, I don't believe that. It was a fluke win over Ohio State. But that team is rolling right now. That was a really good win against Indiana today. You pointed out if Michigan were to lose, how that really confuses the Big Ten East picture.
I think probably for the first time in their lives, Ohio State fans are actively rooting for the Michigan Wolverines. They refer to them ever lovingly, of course, as the team up north. They need Michigan to win tonight because then Ohio State does in fact control their own destiny.
Ohio State will never root for Michigan, and our friend Brian Guice will never root for Ohio, as he would call it. Nick Brossette, tackle for a loss. The boot is being moved to the LSU sideline. Well, Arkansas is trying to win the Golden Boot for the 3rd straight year, which would be the first time since the 1920s. But it's going back to Baton Rouge. And Arkansas is going to fall to 6-4, 2-4 in the SEC. Ed Orgeron is going to improve to 4-1 as the interim coach. They'll be 6-3 overall, 4-2 in the SEC.
Big game next week, obviously, for the SEC East as the Florida Gators come to Baton Rouge to play against an LSU team that's got to be feeling great after this performance.
And that likely will be the final play. Well, time will tell whether Ed Orgeron is the head coach or not. Again, we think that very unlikely to happen. But bottom line, as an interim coach, he's done a remarkable job. To get this team focused to win 3 in a row, you put everything into the Alabama game. You go toe-to-toe for 3.5 quarters, lose, and then you bounce back to beat Arkansas and win the boot. Go get it, kids. Well done. Final score from Fayetteville, 38-10. LSU throttles Arkansas. For Greg McElroy, Tom Luganville, our entire crew, I'm Dave Pash. College football scoreboard coming up. Washington State Cal. That is a big game for Washington State. So long for now.